My name is Amata and welcome once again to another Red Gaming Tech video where I have the minimum and recommended specs for NBA 2K18 on the PC. Now for those of you who are wondering, I'm giving Paul a well-earned day off today as he has been a bit under the weather. As you can probably hear, I'm not a bit under the weather myself, but moving swiftly on, let's start with the minimum specs, shall we? Now the OS is going to be surprising to no one ever, as of course we have Windows 7, 8.1 and 10, all at x64, but obviously what you really want to know is what CPU do you need, what graphics card do you need, and when it comes to the processor, you will need a Intel Core i3 530 at 2.93 GHz or an AMD Phenom 2 X4 805 at 2.5 GHz or better. RAM wise is pretty manageable, 4 GB. I'm sure most of you are going to be able to get to that no problem. 4 GB is obviously pretty much the minimum most people have. A lot of people have 8, of course. And the graphics card again is going to be easily smashed by most of you, as you'll need a GeForce GT 450 with 1 gig or an ATI Radeon HD 6770 at 1 gig or better. Now, shockingly, I know you're gonna faint and swoon and put your hand to your head like a heroine in an old black and white film when I say that you're gonna need DirectX 11. I know, but sarcasm aside, let's move swiftly on to the recommended specs, shall we? Obviously the OS is the same here, but obviously the processor takes a bit of a jump to the i5 4430 at 3 GHz or an AMD FX 8370 at 3.4 GHz or better. RAM takes the jump to 8 that I mentioned earlier, and you'll need, graphics card wise, a GeForce GTX 770 with 2 GB of VRAM or an ATI Radeon R9 270 with 2 GB or better. DX version is the same, of course, and I left the eye-watering part for last, as you'll need a pretty staggering 70 GB for this game. So yeah, despite the rather huge amount of hard drive space it's going to be bizarrely taken up by this game, but obviously there is a lot to it, but still, unfortunately no frame rates or resolutions mentioned with the hardware settings on either of these, unfortunately, but given the low specs on minimum and the obviously a little bit beefier specs on recommended, you can probably guess that it's going to be 1080p or probably higher on recommended, and obviously minimum is going to be below that. But obviously I would be shocked if anyone really is running this at minimum that is watching this particular video, and I highly doubt any upgrades are going to be needed really for this either. But, you know, despite these games not being my thing at all, obviously they're very, very popular and for a good reason, and here's what you need to run it. So, thank you very much for watching, guys. Your support is always appreciated. I'll see you next time.